What's poppin', everybody? This is the cartoon kid Ray Rawlins, and today we're talking about season 4, episode 1, the season premiere of Rick and Morty. It's been a long wait, 720 days, I believe it is, but it's finally here. So, Mr. Alex Payne, give us an episode breakdown of what happens, man.
Well, this episode basically is based around Rick and Morty go to, I guess, an asteroid, you would call that, to get death crystals, which basically shows the person who's holding it how they'll die. In every possible way they'll die, depending on, decisions they make and everything. So after taking one, Morty sees that there's a possibility where he would die with Jessica. So he's trying to go along with that, and he decides that he wants to drive because it shows that he needs to drive. So he's fucking around and basically ends up crashing and killing Rick. So he takes some of Rick's DNA because of a hologram that instructed him to do so, and then Rick starts being cloned throughout different universes. But that's the I guess you could call that's probably the I'd say that's the B plot, and but the A plot continues on with the Marty trying to figure out which decisions to make and just carrying the crystal around trying to figure out how to die with Jessica, and that's pretty much the episode, really, like the premise of it at least. And I'll say this though, like to lead into my first impressions. I don't know. The episode felt. I mean, it could just be because it's a new episode or whatever. But I don't know. The episode felt weird to me.
I mean, to be fair, to go off what you said, like, to be fair, all of this stuff from Rick and Morty, I wouldn't say um it's a
Not
weird
weird,
series,
not weird in
but
content though. I meant like
right.
weird. Like it
It just
doesn't
it didn't
feel
feel
like the show.
right. And you know what? I was gonna say exactly that. Because the show in itself is kind of weird. It's kind of out there. It's not like your everyday cartoon. But
Yeah,
this
like it felt
episode
like a
didn't
different
feel
show.
right. And I mean, spoiler alert, it didn't feel like it was for the better, to be honest with you. But overall, like, I will say this, and I guess this kind of goes into the review part, but I'm just gonna mention this now too. I don't know if you'll agree with this, but I definitely think there was way too much going on in this episode. I mean, like, one, we had some new stuff to adjust to, but I feel like there was a lot to kind of like be like, okay, you got this different type of Rick, a shrimp Rick, then you got a wash. Whoa, what's going on? It felt. I mean, I get you have alternate universe, you have
Well, I
plenty
mean
different
was
types of.
that wasn't really too. I don't feel like
I
that
wouldn't
was too
say.
much going on at all. Really. I mean,
I just felt like it was too much new stuff to digest. Like I said, you have multiple universes. Of course, you have different things going on in each different timeline or whatever the hell you want to call it. I just felt like it was like, the new stuff, I really wasn't feeling it. But I will say this: it was an interesting episode nonetheless. It definitely was different. Um, and I had to watch it again, and I did end up liking it more than I watched it the first time. So who knows? Maybe if I watch it a third time or whatever, maybe I might like it a little bit more. Maybe I'll get a little used to it. Who knows? But I guess we can jump into moments if you're ready.
yeah, I'm ready. Because my main point was the fact that like it didn't really feel like an episode of Rick and Morty, but I don't
It
know.
definitely didn't.
But I would say like moments for me were pretty much like a lot of the Rick stuff. More
Oh, cool. Yeah, the
I like
holograms.
yeah the overly sensitive hologram, and the
It's
friggin'
nice to see Mr. Meeseeks again. I will say that.
yeah, I was just gonna mention that like when they was flying for the space when the spaceship with the fascist Morty, and he brought Mr. Meeseeks and told him to kill the Morty, and then they broke the glass and everything went silent because like that's
Right.
what would happen because that's what would happen in space if like some shit if you like broke out into space because obviously sound can't exist in space, but
Right.
so I thought that was a nice like scientific touch or whatever.
I like when Marty was like fighting all the military and shit. And man, he was just fucking whooping ass. And then the whole thing with the trial and whatnot, it just felt very weird. I'll be honest, that little part
That
where he
was
was trying
kind
to
of
speak,
terrible, man.
Yeah, it really was. That annoyed the hell out of me how he was. And I honestly don't understand the whole purpose of it. I'm being 100% like real with you. Obviously, it's something
I
that they got to
understand the
write off.
purpose, but like I didn't like what they was doing. Like I feel like that. I mean, I guess this is a kind of a well. Do you have any other moments you want to mention?
Um, honestly, like I gotta say the whole shit with the crystal and whatnot, how Morty is such a sucker for that damn girl. It was played up to a million in this episode. That part, I mean, obviously he's a 14-year-old boy going through puberty. He wants to be with a bitch, and that's understandable. You know, Jessica's the love of his life. But that shit was dialed up to a million. And this is a little nitpick that, like, you know, especially after that whole love potion episode in season one, I think it was, you think he probably dial that shit back a little bit, you know? But that was just my one of my little nitpicks. I just didn't like how that shit was amplified to a million in this episode. But go ahead, go ahead.
But to lead into my review though, and speaking of that, I will mention this as like a moment, but not really a one I because to go off of what you just said, that doesn't even really apply because she came up to him and she basically asked him out really, and
No,
he
yeah.
said
Oh,
no.
she did
So
more than that. Motherfucker she wanted to pound that pussy.
so so even that was like so even that didn't make was like
but
I wouldn't
but
say
it
that
didn't
even
make sense.
applies because yeah.
It didn't make sense. It would and could apply. It just doesn't make. I mean, I guess it does because he wants to die with her. And he thinks by doing that, he's not gonna try to get with her until he's in his 40s, until they're old and well, I would say old, but until they're up there in age. So I mean, of course, he wants to smash. Why didn't he? Well, shit. I mean, he should have. Like that dude's going weird in his. But anyway, what were we gonna say after that though, or before that?
No, I was just gonna get into like my final review, which is
Go ahead.
really
Go
like
ahead.
I didn't I if it wasn't clear already, I wasn't really a fan of the Morty parts of the episode because like a lot of it felt kind of out of character. It felt kind of weird. And for some of the stuff was just like just
It felt
really
like it felt like Morty was dumber than usual. Am I
it's
hitting
not,
the mark with that a little bit? Because I honestly feel, because granted, Marty, like they said, he's kind of a little, he's not as fast as most kids, as his dad would say. But Marty's not an idiot either. I mean, he can be, but he's not fucking dead brain stupid. He would have realized that this crystal's kind of like, yo, it's dangerous. It's fucking me up. It's not. I'm not being able to pay attention to what's going on around me. So I need to put this shit down. I feel like the real Morty would realize that and would have left that shit alone. What do you
I don't
think?
know. I don't know. Because like I said, I could really I I I I think even if they used the same idea and just went about the the process of it a different way, like for example, like same idea, Death Crystal. It's funny because I would say they used it right with Rick when he was avoiding the people who were shooting at him. Like if they did it in that type of way where it was like he holds the crystal and makes a decision based on that instead of just like basically like being a metal detector, just moving around, and then just like I can't say like trying to figure out every word he wants to say in every step. Like I felt
Right.
like they took it should have just been like a this is happening, so I'm gonna make this decision type of thing instead of a every word he has to clear. I mean they mostly did that with the judge, which I could have kind of get, but like just they kind of did that for like everything really. So if
Right.
it was just like oh if I do this then I gotta do this instead type of thing instead of just I'm going to have to think and put focus on every word of that I say and every step I make. It's like that just
Uh
got
huh.
extremely strange and weird.
Right. 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 Yeah.
Oh, and
It
I have
felt.
to mention because I forgot to mention this for the moment. The moment when the Wasp family was eating Mr.
Oh yeah,
Goldenfold was
yo,
funny.
man, that was brutal, yo. That dude just listen. It's kind of messed up because everything's just like so normal in the household. You hear Goldenfold just in the background, just freaking screaming. Um, and it's just like they're just freaking tearing him apart, man. one of the dopest teachers. How can they do that for the most dopest black teacher in a cartoon, man? I don't understand it. But I'm gonna get on with my review, man. As I love Rick and Morty. I can honestly say I love Rick and Morty. I haven't been on the bandwagon as early as 2013, but I just started. We both started watching it relatively soon, like motherfucking what do you say? Maybe July, August, probably September. September for me for sure. So we're
Yeah,
not
I don't
Rick and
really keep
Morty
track of time, so I don't
pundits.
know.
We're not Rick and Morty pundits, that's for sure. But I will tell you this: we watched everything all the way up till season 4, where we need to be right now. And like you said, this does not feel like a Rick and Morty episode in the least. Um, Obviously, yeah, because it's the sci-fi shit they got going on, and you can tell too. And I think like
It's not that
um,
like it's really not the sci-fi shit or what they do in anything. It's the like I don't know. It's just the
it's
tone
a
and the
right,
writing, and it just like legit felt like they took a story from another show and put it into this one.
right. I will tell you this too. You can tell that they're trying to do something different. They're trying to do something different, or they're trying to do like a callback to season 1 too. Because like they even mentioned in the last season, it's gonna be a lot more like season 1. Season 4 is. Then you hear them say at the end of this episode, yeah, we're sometimes we're gonna get a little classic, go back to season 1, and sometimes we're just gonna be doing something different, or sometimes we're just not gonna be doing anything. They fucking say that, so they're basically telling us, yo, yeah, we get this a little bit different, but we're gonna get a little bit classic. Like we were in season 1, so it basically not trying to give fans not a trying not to give fans a reason to worry. You see what I'm saying? So they're basically telling us, yeah, we're doing something different. Just don't worry, we got this. And you know what? I got faith in them, honestly. This episode just wasn't my cup of tea. Um, you even said Morty just didn't feel like Morty. To me, honestly, he felt more stupid. He felt more dumbed down. He was very irrational. In some instances, like the real Morty would be 100. I would say 100% rational, but he'd definitely be more rational than he was in this episode for sure. So Morty felt dumbed down. Rick was alright. He was cool. I was never a big fan of the 19 million Rick clones or anything like that in the Ricks in different universes. And I'm not a huge fan of the shrimp and wasp Rick and all this weird craziness. Um, I just like it basically real world Rick and Morty type shit. Like Pickle Rick's cool. I just don't like when you get like 20 million other different Ricks and Mortys involved. But I will say it's cool to see Evil Morty again. Like if we're just doing something like the whole little Citadel realm, like with Evil Morty and them, that's alright. But I just felt like they went a little bit too extra with this episode for me. Um, and I would want to say too that man, if you want to bring back Rick and Morty, especially after over a 700-day wait, you got to bring it back with a fire episode, and this just wasn't like that for me. So I'll say, with all that being said, I'm gonna hit it with. I don't want to be too rough on it because you know me, I don't like giving bad ratings, but I'm gonna give it a
Well, you
nice.
gotta learn. You can't be a reviewer if
No,
you're
no,
too
no,
scared to get
no.
bad
But you know
reviews.
what? You know what though? You know what though? Because this series has honestly been really good, and just one episode, like I'm gonna be that
You're judging this
motherfucking
episode, not the
sympathetic teacher.
series,
No,
man.
listen, be
You,
quiet. Shut up. Shut up. Listen, let me say what I
you
gotta
can.
say. This is the cartoon kid Ray Rawlins. This is my channel. Okay. So I'm that sympathetic teacher, but like you said, also you gotta be harsh when the times call for it. So, like I said, this wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't my cup of tea personally. With everything that I said, I'm not gonna repeat it. With everything I said, man, this just did not feel like the proper Rick and Morty episode to bring season 4 into. Like when you bring a season in, you got to be fired up, pumped, ready to go. Oh shit, Rick and Morty's back. Okay, I'm gonna be hyped. I want to see what's gonna happen in episode 2. I just, I didn't get that with this episode being over. I was just like, man, what the fuck did I just see? I'm not a big fan of it. So, long story short, or well, it's a very long story, but I'm gonna hit it with a nice 5.5 out of 10. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest with you. So go ahead. I'll let you toss your rating in there.
Um, I'm thinking about a 6. I think about a
Okay.
6 is alright for me. 6 out of 10. That's pretty much it. I already said everything I needed to say.
Well, we'll rehash. I want to hear your thoughts again one more time. You know I want to hear what you got to say because I want to see if we're on the same mark where you differ with me.
Well, I don't feel like I don't think Marty was dumbed down. I
Yeah,
just feel
Morty
like
was, not Marty.
listen, you yeah, listen, you were saying Marty the entire video, so but I didn't feel like Marty was being dumbed down. Like I said, because I like I said, I fully get where they were coming from. I felt they executed what they wanted to do badly though. Because they, like I said,
Right.
the
Okay.
exact same premise with him using the crystal and trying to, die along with her and doing the same irrational shit could have went a lot better if they didn't do it so specifically to everything instead of just
Right.
like a perfect example when the bully grabbed him. He could have
Yeah.
got like that. I guess that's the perfect framework. When the bully grabbed him, he touched the crystal and knew the bully wasn't gonna kill him. That's like it could have just been like that for everything. Like he could have been like, "Oh,
Right.
am I gonna cross the street?" Put his hand in his pocket. No, see him getting run down, so he doesn't cross the street. Like shit like that. Not just like, should I take this step? Okay. Should I take this step? Okay. Should I take this step? Okay. Should I take this step?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Honestly, I see what you're saying now.
and the like I said, I enjoyed the Rick stuff. I really don't think like I mean I know you're a little slow so you can't keep up with much, but I really don't think they did too I really didn't think they went too far with all the with the Ricks and stuff and the extra stuff. Like I don't think they was really overloading anything. Um
Well, listen, with you watching Rick and Morty, I really would think you get a better attempt at, making funny jokes. Rick should be your mentor, man. You should be learning from him. Although that was an interesting one. It was very Alex Payne-y, but hey, what can you expect from a
hey,
no brain cell individual?
hey, listen, just because you got offended doesn't mean it's not funny. But
Who said I'm offended?
But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 because I feel like this shit with Morty really detracts a lot from it. But I feel like the stuff with Rick was okay enough to bring it past meh for me. So I think I'm gonna stick out a
Okay,
six.
and I could agree too, but I'm still sticking to my guns with the nice 5.5. But with all that being said, there y'all have it. Ray Rawlins, the cartoon kid, gives it a 5.5 out of 10, and Alex Payne gives it a 6.5, man. Very disappointing start to the season, man. I thought I wanted to come in and give this bitch a straight up 8.5. But you know what? It is what it is, man. You can't win them all, and what the hell you going to do? But listen, y'all know what this is, man. This is the Cartoon Kid channel where we talk cartoons and we do it daily. Up on the screen, you'll have some older Rick and Morty reviews that we did, as well as some other cartoon playlists or whatever. You got to subscribe to the channel, all that shit, man. Hit that sub. You like what we did. Hit that like. And as well, you can toss your comments down in the comments box below. We'll definitely be interested in hearing them. But with all that being said, my name's the Cartoon Kid, Ray Rawlins. His is Alex Payne. And we'll see ya when we see ya. Peace.